Kwabna, I mean, Lewis Hamilton's dominance has come under scrutiny, and many believe, well, it could possibly have been the car that time, when he kept dominating in that Mercedes. And many also believe, well, it was just his driving ability. This time around, we are not seeing any of it at play with his new team, Ferrari. What do you make of those who have made the suggestion that Lewis Hamilton clearly is past his prime, he's lost a bit of everything, and even that dominance in Mercedes could have just been put down to the car?
I'm saying that when this conversation arises with Lewis, it's always, it was Lewis's car. But when it comes to other drivers, they are very good, they drive very fast. It's not the car, it is them. I think we've had this conversation so many years. Look, even when the Mercedes was not that good, Lewis was still driving that car very well, beating his own teammates and all of that. Mercedes was still in the top 5 when it comes to construction championship. He won a couple of races with a bad Mercedes car. We all know what happened to the 2022, 2023 Mercedes car. They were still stuck with the old mentality and old design with the new rules. Of course, they lost out on those ones to Red Bull and the likes. So I don't think, as much as Lewis said, he said himself that he's lost a bit of confidence in the car. We all know where this sometimes comes from. He has driven Mercedes engines throughout his career. He just jumped into a Ferrari car. We are not expecting him to do magic in the first year. I always stuck to my guts that Lewis was not going to perform in the first year in a Ferrari car. We shouldn't expect nothing too much from him. The media built the whole hype around him that, he was going to do some magic. Now the magic is not happening. Let's blame Lewis for the magic not happening. Little do they know that sometimes even the engineers, he fights with his engineers in the car at the same time, right? Charles has been used to that Ferrari car for years before Lewis joined him. You're not expecting Lewis to just beat Charles once he gets into that car. It's not going to happen. It doesn't happen that way. You understand? So I still think that, look, even his old team principal said, Toto Wolff said that don't write Lewis Hamilton out easily. Because the moment you write him out, he would end up surprising you. You understand? For me, my thing is that until Lewis says that he's done, until he himself opens his mouth and says that he's done, and one of the guys who will continue to follow him and know for sure that at some point he will still perform. You said something that he hasn't won anything with the Ferrari car. Mind you, he won the Chinese, sprint with this same Ferrari car. And for some reason, the next day, they tuned the car differently and couldn't even, I think they were even punished, both drivers or so. You see, on that main day, they were disqualified, in my point. You understand? So, I mean, let's not write Lewis out that easily.
If I may jump in there real quick. So let's use this past Dutch Grand Prix as an example. And by the way, Kwabena, I agree with you in broad terms, but I think Lewis is still due some criticism here. Now, going back to the Dutch Grand Prix, here's what happened. He turns up and he opts for the higher downforce package. Now, it's widely known that this era of cars tend to have a single optimum setup, track to track. Lewis decides to go with a higher downforce package, and eventually the team decided to swap him to Leclerc's downforce level and configuration. Now, as soon as they did that, he was pretty much on par with Leclerc. In fact, if you watch the qualifying, practice and qualifying, Lewis was pretty much nip and tuck ahead. And it wasn't until Q3 that Leclerc pipped him. Now, for every time Lewis has decided to go the wrong way on set, and he does it throughout his career, even though he was winning and very good, he's tended to do this. If you speak to Button, Alonso, all of his teammates, including Bottas, Lewis tends to have these off days. And the off days are fine when the car has got a second lap advantage of everybody else. When everything is down to qualifying and you are routinely getting your setup wrong, this is something Rosberg has alluded to. It starts to bite. And I think Lewis Hamilton has become, too powerful for his own good. I don't think he has a lot of people that can put him straight. Otherwise, people will be saying to him, look, the numbers say one thing, your preference is saying another, and maybe what he needs to do is somewhere in between the middle, which is to adapt.